Hello to all the good people in the world. Hopefully, you are a good person because the world can truly use more good people. I really do feel that way. And I encourage anyone who watch my videos to be good, okay? Be kind, to be thoughtful. You see some trash, you know what I'm saying? The trash can, like right there, go ahead, pick it up. Like, what's up with all the bags and shit being thrown out on the side of the road of trash? Like, people just taking the trash in their car, putting the bag and just throwing it on the side of the road. Like, I don't get that. You don't go to gas stations. Gas stations got trash cans. You can take that trash and throw it into that trash can. Don't you go home? Can't you take the trash into your house and put in that trash can? Like, I don't know. So when I go on my walks and stuff like that, like I do try to pick up trash along the way and throw it away. So if you see me doing that, don't think I'm a homeless person with a little fashion sense who managed to wash up in McDonald's bathroom and then go out and then do walks. I don't know. But yeah, so be good, be kind, be thoughtful, okay? Care about your goddamn planet. So pretty much this conversation today, I know I play videos and things like that for informative and educational and entertainment, purposes and things like that. But today we're going to watch a video, Rosalind Peterson. Few of you probably heard of her before. It's not like I would know who she is if I heard her name, but I, seen her videos a few times, and now her name is locked into my brain. So, yeah, it's only because I'm doing a video on her. But yeah, she's talking about, the pollution in the goddamn sky, and that she think is coming from chemtrails. And I, found out that chemtrails do not even exist as far as when it comes to a dictionary, right? They don't even recognize that as a real word. Like, what is that? So you can't sue nobody. If you're trying to sue the government or some type of environmental agency or something like that for, polluting our fucking skies, you got to know what the hell you're talking about. This is what she was saying anyway. But it's contrails. Now I haven't looked deeper into that yet, but I'm thinking it's contrails is the correct term, not chemtrails. I know it makes sense. It's like, yeah, chemicals. So you know what I'm saying? It's like chemical trails, but no, it's contrails. But and it's the stuff, the chemicals that's in it, okay, that's being dispersed out of these, planes and things like that. But this woman said she spent 10 years doing research and couldn't find any evidence to prosecute anybody about polluting our skies. Now, I know all you see these trails and things like that in the sky. Like, we can't have a blue sky. We can't have a blue sky ever. Like, when we get a blue sky, it's like you all of a sudden you see a team of motherfucking planes like out of nowhere. Okay, I moved that little curse out the way. But anyway, you see a team of like planes out of nowhere or just lines. Sometimes you just see the lines form, right? And it's like, damn, where that line come from? Or why that cloud look like that? That cloud look weird, and then you just see multiple. They zigzag and cross each other like a plaid fabric, like pattern or something like that. So, and then next thing you got rain clouds, and next thing you got storms, and maybe some of that fake snow, or what I'm saying, it's just be off the chain. Like, we see it, right? But this woman who has spent her whole life trying to research these matters and pin it on somebody, couldn't find no evidence. Like, that's crazy. So we're gonna watch her videos real quick on that. But like I said, the topic is about the sky. Okay. My boo was complaining all week, like, how come it's always cloudy outside? How come it's always cloudy? Always gotta be no sun. How come, it's always cloudy? It's always look like it's gonna rain. And I'm like, well, thank God for the rain, because we need the rain, okay? Hence a possibility of the reason why a lot of wildfires are starting, because shit is dry, okay? Some places not getting no rain. And you would think like, why don't they send like whatever, like cloud seeding or whatever they're doing to manipulate the weather, like why don't they send that shit over there where all the forest lines are and kind of saturate and wet the lands, you know what I'm saying, to keep them from drying out and then catching on fire, unless someone is setting them on fire, right? That's another story, right? And I know a few people out there talking about some kind of magical beam that come from the satellite or somewhere from off a plane. Somebody fly by and just shoot a beam down and set shit ablaze. But I don't know. I just I'm leaning more towards shit being dry. Okay. I posted a video a while back about how the trees and shit are already going through the process of fall in like the beginning of summer. So, they drying out and dying and they looking like they're suffering. Even the grass, a lot of, dry patches and things like that. So, that sun, those solar flares they've been talking about, and these particles or particulate matter that Rosalind is talking about in her video, all this silver and all these metals and shit just floating in the atmosphere and trapping heat into our ecosystem. And you just shit is gonna burn up. It's like a magnifying glass on an ant. Okay, you get that light beam to hit it just right, and the motherfucker start smoking. Okay, just think about it. Okay, that sun hitting off the particles in the sky, a beam coming straight down and hitting a certain part of a dry area of the forest, and the shit catch on fire. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's just how my mind works, right? But yeah. So, but these forest fires, it's just something else. But you kind of want to say maybe somebody is behind these motherfucking forest fires, right? Because for 4 months, Canada has been on fire, okay? We thought the fire was over, but oh no, the fire is still going. Then you had the Maui fire, the whole civilization, okay? The whole island just on fire, people in the water, just crazy. It's just too crazy to understand it. Don't understand these situations, okay? It's like they spray chemicals to keep the fire going instead of, chemicals to stop the fire. I don't know. Water is the best thing to me to put out a fire. So I just don't know. And when you're surrounded by the water, I just don't understand. Y'all can try to figure out and CERN how to open up little portals to figure out how to manipulate dark matter, but we can't figure out how to put out forest fires. I'm just trying to figure this out. So, but yeah, so then we got the Maui, right? Canada's still on fire. Okay, that's in the news right now. And then, yeah, like state emergency fire. Then we got Spain. Spain is on fire. Like that is another place they say bad things happen in three, but I don't even know what this is. It three or what? I don't know because Canada, Maui, Canada, Spain. Who else on fire? I don't know. I know we not on fire here in Chicago. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you to the powers that be, our local government or whoever make the decisions. Maybe our tax dollars are going to work for us, okay, when they go ahead and they keep us moist over here with all the rain, but we not flooding because we got a good sewage system. Amen. But I did see something talking about FEMA being in Chicago for some floods, so maybe there's some floods somewhere. But yeah, like I say, God bless everybody, right? So yeah, it's something going on, okay, out here. It's some like weather modification going on somewhere. They admit that they do use it, okay? But where's the proof though? Where's the proof? You mess with Mother Nature is gonna mess with everybody. Okay, she's not just gonna pick the people who's causing all the trouble, the billionaires, because that's the only one who can do these type of things, right? It's not the common man that can do these things. But what we could do, you know, you got the 1%, you got the 99%. We need to probably, say something, say something more than just online, but to our aldermans, to our state representatives, to the White House if you have to, right? Like, can we have some blue skies? Remember the days we used to have blue skies? Remember the days we used to have seasons? Now it's like October and June and July. It's just weird. It's like fall, piece of summer, sometime a little spring, I don't know, and then a little sprinkle of winter when we feel like it. It's just weird. It's really weird over here in Chicago now. Everywhere else, I know it's worse and things like that, but I'm just saying, just watch this video.
Thank you very much. I'm Richard Jordan, chairman of the conference. I'm going to just introduce Khalid Dawood, who will introduce the speakers. So Khalid, thank you very much for moderating this session, and I turn it over to you, and I will return in about 3 minutes.
So our next speaker is Dr. Rosalind Peterson. She's the California president and co-founder of the Agriculture Defense Coalition, formed in 2006 to protect agricultural crop production from uncontrolled experimental weather modification programs. A very interesting topic, for a non-specialized person like myself. But also very interesting in her CV that we have with you is also her extensive efforts to protect drinking water supplies from toxic chemical contamination in Martinez, California. That's a very interesting topic, of course, and I was actually wondering myself whether you can tackle whether the same experiments that you're holding in California could be extended to other world countries, particularly poor and developed countries like where we come from. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman. It is a pleasure to be here to speak with all of you today. One of the things that I would like to say is that we are in a global drumbeat right at the moment talking about climate change and global warming. One of the things that is affected by climate change is agriculture. But some of what we are seeing is man-made, but man-made in a different way than you may guess. Weather modification programs, experimental ones done by private companies, done by the United States government, done by states across the United States are underway. There's more than 50 of them in operation across the United States. All of these impact agriculture because they change the microclimates needed for agriculture to survive. None of these programs that I know of today, and this is all public record, are available at any time with oversight, agricultural oversight or public oversight. These programs impact agriculture, and there are programs around the world. International corporations are modifying our weather all the time, and they're modifying it in ways that cover thousands and thousands of square miles. Most of it is chemically altered, so that what happens is that we are putting chemicals, ground-based chemicals that are shot into the air, or chemicals coming from airplanes that change and modify our weather. So one of the things that I'm concerned about and that we need to address in the future is how these programs are impacting microclimates needed for our crops to survive and needed for pollination. If we change the growing season, the pollinators may not survive, and also our crops, our flowers, and our tree crops may not get the pollination needed. So one of my areas is looking at this situation to see if we can begin to put under control experimental and other types of weather modification programs. The other issue is that a lot of times we're talking about mitigation for climate change. It's rather an undefined term at this period of time. And so what happens is that many times we're talking about artificially putting chemicals like sulfur or particulates into the atmosphere in what they call geoengineering schemes to reduce and help the planet, supposedly, but help the planet to not go through such a tremendous global climate change and to mitigate global warming. However, the incidence of putting chemicals into our atmosphere is going to change and impact agricultural crop production. And if you take and you put up into our skies chemicals to reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the earth, you are going to begin to reduce crop production. Studies at the University of Illinois on corn crop production show reductions. Without the process of photosynthesis, whereby plants from direct sunlight gain the energy to grow, to produce crops, we are going to find ourselves, if we mitigate in that direction, impacting the crop production not only here in the United States, but worldwide. One of the things that is impacting crop production right now in the United States and reducing photosynthesis and also impacting the ability of solar power panels to generate the type of power that they should is persistent jet contrails.
Now, she may talk about crop production, right? But like I said, what about just period, just agriculture, period? These forest lands, they're getting affected too. They're drying the fuck up, okay? I don't think people really gonna care until like, we'll be like, damn, you're gonna wake up one day and there's not gonna be any more trees. Like, you're gonna be like, what happened to all the trees? Where all the trees go? Then you ain't gonna be able to breathe. You're not gonna be able to breathe. Then you're not gonna be able to breathe. Like, we need the trees, like we need the bees, okay? Like I said, the pollinators, okay? All these fish washing up, chemicals. It's chemicals. Like, where the scientists at? Because if I was the scientist, I will go to where these fish are washing up, grab some fish, test those fish, test the water, and then come up with some profound answers as to what is in the water, what is in the fish, and what possibly could have been the cause of all this mass death, okay, of ecosystems, okay? Because, yeah, starting with a school of fish here and there, starting with maybe a school of birds here and there, you know, and then people, and people just dropping dead. They finding microplastics in our heart and shit. That's off to something else, okay? But I'm just saying. But with these forest fires, oh, something popped into my head. Why they say in Spain that 4,450 acres have been burned up, right? In Canada, 402,000 acres have been burned up, okay? What's amazing to me about those numbers is that 13 is in one with a 400, was it 4,450? And then you got 6 in the Canada number, the 402,000, right? It's just, you know, I don't know. Does it have anything to do anything? Maybe not. I'm just saying that it's pretty coincidental that that stamp, those numbers are on both of those, you know, wildfire situations. Anyway, back to the video.
NASA talks about persistent jet contrails as exacerbating global warming because they trap warmth in the atmosphere when they produce cirrus and man-made clouds. NASA also talks about that these aircraft leaving persistent contrails are changing our climate. And when they change our climate to the degree that one jet can leave a persistent jet contrail, which will spread across our skies.
Hold on, I'm laughing in my mind because I be having shit going on in my mind. But I laugh because I seen a stupid video of this woman making some damn ramen rat noodles. And she literally had a skinned rat that she cleaned and cut up, and even with the balls, and put into some ramen noodles that she self-seasoned herself. Like, she seasoned the fuck out of the motherfuckers. It looked like she did. Would I still eat it with the rat? So my point is about this, she's talking about produce and crop reduction. And I'm thinking like, well, shit, they trying to move us all to eating, fake ass meat, right? You know what I'm saying? Lab processed meat. And I'm like, well, shit, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that rat motherfucking ramen noodles gonna be a hit, you know what I'm saying, one day, you know what I'm saying, or some pigeon stew. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But today I'm cool on it, but I'm just saying, as crops and everything is, getting harder to produce. You got Bill Gates out here, all the farmland and shit. We don't know what kind of, shit we gonna be getting from him. You know what I'm saying? It's deep out here. Y'all don't even understand how deep it is, but I still laugh at it all because what can we do? What can we do? If we all come together and do something together, what can one person do alone? I'm just saying.
From what this picture up here on my left on the screen looks like, which is a trail left by a jet, that trail can expand to 4,000 kilometers and last for 20 hours. This was unheard of.
Mm, mm. They coming for the solar panels. They said y'all thought y'all was gonna do away with electricity with these solar panels. Y'all thought y'all could rely on the sun. Y'all thought the sun would be forever. We gonna block the sun. We gonna block the ultraviolet rays. You ain't gonna get that shit. Your solar panels ain't gonna work. You ain't be able to preserve enough energy to keep going. Wasn't a whole bunch of electric cars? Oh, electric cars, that's different than those solar cars. I don't think we got solar cars. Do they have solar cars? I'm just saying.
In the early 60s and the 70s, and it wasn't until the late 1980s that there was a change and we started to have persistent jet contrails that persist. NASA studies show that part of our global warming problem could be attributed to these types of contrails and the jets that leave them. So one of the issues as we go through is, how do you like your skies, natural or man-made?
Mm, mm. And can't y'all tell a difference though? Don't it look different? God made clouds and then man-made clouds, they be looking different than a motherfucker. I don't know. I was the type of kid that used to just go and lay on the grass. Now I'm trying to work my way back to being that kind of nature person again. You know, I just act like I'm just so scared of bugs now that I can't like just lay on them. You know what I'm saying? Like bugs back here. But back in the day, I would play with bugs. But yeah, I would lay on the grass and just look up at the sky just for leisure. And just think about the sky. Like who hasn't done that, right? And those clouds have more like of a cotton, appeal to it, like big cotton balls in the sky. These clouds look gaseous, like straight gas. Okay. It don't look like a cotton, beautiful, fluffy type of cloud. They look gas. It look like someone sprayed some shit and it just spread it out and fumigated. Like it doesn't look normal. So I'm just saying, y'all, I'm gonna try to help y'all see through my eyes if you can't see through your own. I recorded a contrail, okay, in the sky, and that bad boy was up there for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Like by the time I started recording, I think I actually got to maybe 14 minutes, a little, like over 14. But I was just looking like, that motherfucker's still there. It's still there. Like that can't just be no like, exhaust from a plane, because that shit goes away. Like we see airplanes in the sky. I do all day. I'm just saying, I see nothing but planes, and I do not see planes leaving that shit behind. Okay? I don't know. I'm just saying they think we slow.
And right now, we are making man-made clouds, and this is trapping warmth in our atmosphere. The climate change that is produced by these jets. Not all jets, mostly some non-commercial. But what happens to our skies is that we start to see the changes. The man-made clouds do trap the warmth, and they increase the humidity. This allows for pests to proliferate, diseases, molds, mildews, funguses, and viruses. This is a man-made cloud, ladies and gentlemen, and these pictures I took myself over Northern California. And this is a burst. This is where a jet left a huge plume. And then this turned in at the end of it to a burst. And this is not normal. Never seen before in our county historically, and I was born and raised there. This is another picture showing the jet trail just before the burst. This is our skies, and I want you to know that what you're seeing now, a lot of times many scientists know, especially at NASA and in other areas, that the skies that we're seeing are not normal cloud formations. These are man-made. And what happens as we reduce the amount of sunlight in a form of global dimming, we reduce the solar power with these type of clouds, and we reduce photosynthesis, which is going to impact agriculture. The pictures look odd. The formations don't look like normal clouds that people have seen before historically. This is another type of man-made cloud, and what we have done and what you're seeing here is we have the photographs from the times that the jet leaves the first trail as a thin, spindly trail to where they form into these different types of cloud formations. All of you can start looking up and seeing this. What happens is that there are experiments, and there's a color, you can see some color in this photograph. And part of what we're doing also is we're sending up canisters. The United States government, NASA, the U.S. Air Force, is sending up canisters into the atmosphere filled with chemicals to modify and experiment with our ionosphere. And when we modify and experiment with our ionosphere up here, we create experiments which they can see through these persistent jet contrails as they stay in the sky for long periods of time, and they can watch the experiments. The type of chemicals they are using are aluminum, barium, strontium, and these canisters are sent up on rockets, and what they do is they superheat the canisters to create experiments in our atmosphere. The experiments can give you colorful auroras, which they talk about as being wonderful. Many times people think that the auroras in Alaska and the ones we see are normal.
This is why y'all skies are turning different colors too, for you people who are in different areas of the world posting videos of why, why the sky looking orange, why, because like I know shit's still on fire. They acting like, that situation with the smoke coming from Canada only happened once during that one period from I think came from like over east, like over where New York and stuff, and then came on over here eventually, and then wrapped its way around Detroit or something like that. But like I said, the fire's still going. Okay, so it's a whole bunch of chemicals in this air that's changing the sky. So y'all gonna see some different colors. And then also the prisms that y'all be seeing in the sky, that's from all them crystals. And like I said, it's different metals in the sky and silver and all types of stuff, So, when the light hit those fragments, you're gonna get prisms too here and there. So y'all gonna be seeing some weird shit. But gas moves like that. You can see how gas move. Those real clouds, they be kind of stationary chilling. You know what I'm saying? And they'll move a little bit, but they usually just chill until they don't. But then these other things, they be moving, they be active, okay, baby? They be real active because they here with a purpose. I don't know. They here with a purpose. Block the sun, bring about rain, bring about snow, wet shit up, send hurricanes. I mean, I don't know.
But there's beginning to be more and
I'm
more
just
seen across
saying.
the United States and elsewhere where aluminum, trimethyl aluminum experiments to make clouds are beginning to impact us. The reason I am concerned for agriculture is that none of these experiments have any public oversight nor agricultural oversight. Our drinking water is impacted because the chemicals are now beginning to show up in our drinking water. In California, the State Department of Health drinking water tests were examined between 1970 and this year, and we found unusual spiking in barium, aluminum, strontium, magnesium, calcium, manganese, and all of these spiked at the same time in various drinking water supplies across the state of California and also in Arizona. So what's happening with these atmospheric tests is that aluminum, as one example, gets into, with increased pollution and acid rain, gets into the root systems of our crop trees and our trees, and it looks like the trees are dying of drought, but they're not. What happens is that the root systems can no longer absorb the water and the nutrients needed to survive. Many of our forests in Redding, California and other areas are dying. The oak trees, the redwood trees, the Douglas fir across the United States, many areas. We believe that these trees are impacted because they cannot absorb enough water because aluminum is going into their root systems. Also, molds, mildew, and fungus from warmer temperatures produced by persistent jet contrails are also allowing pests and molds to proliferate, also impacting tree health and crop health. The skies that you see up here, it is important to note, have a white haze to them. When crossing the United States 2 days ago, we saw this man-made produced haze all the way across the United States. There were a few real clouds. We saw the persistent jet contrails from the jet windows, and the skies in the white haze looked a lot like this. So one of the things that we need to really look at is that jet fuel emissions contaminate our air, much as automobile exhaust. They know from scientific studies back in the 1970s that they deplete beneficial ozone in the atmosphere by releasing nitric acid. So one of the things that we need to look at is the impact of just jet fuel and just the emissions from jets as well. I want to go on and talk briefly about a couple of issues here that I think are important for everyone to realize. If we don't look at the problems that we are creating, the atmospheric testing programs, in other words, the jet contrails that are warming our climate, and we say to ourselves, we want to geoengineer something else. We want to add more particulates to help global warming or to stop climate change. What we're going to have is we're going to have a pea soup up there of chemicals which are going to be detrimental to our health. It is much better to take the EPA model of the 1970s, where the Environmental Protection Agency was designed to put in regulations to reduce the pollution at its source, to reduce and put caps on how much pollution corporations, cars, automobiles were putting into the atmosphere. One of the things that we're talking about as mitigation is to go into geoengineering plans which add more chemicals to our atmosphere, which are going to get into our drinking water supplies, which are going to get into our soils, which are going to impact our trees. Our trees across the United States, many of them in many areas, especially Mendocino Lake and Sonoma County, are dying. They are not healthy as they used to be. And this problem, having traveled across the United States into some other areas, seeing the pictures coming in from across the United States and other countries, we're finding that there's beginning to be an impact from all of these programs and all the chemicals in our skies. And so one of the things we need to think about and work for is reducing pollution. Alan Buckman from the California State Department in Fish and Game talked about microbes, and they're important to the environment. We have at our disposal already some technologies and already the wherewithal to begin to make the planet more healthy and to put it into a different perspective. But if we go to the geoengineering schemes that are waiting in the wings, thousands of them, to put the particulates up and sulfur, then we are going to be in trouble with agriculture across the United States and around the world. It is time that we look at some different solutions that are already here, and it's time that we look at what's happening in our skies and say we don't need to add any more chemicals, we are doing enough. And what these experiments in our skies are doing with atmospheric heating and testing, we don't know, but the chemicals are showing up in our drinking water. So in closing, I would like to say to all of you and to encourage you to know that just what I showed you today is beginning to impact crop production in the United States. And we're seeing higher UV radiation that is burning the tips of our trees and our plants. We see the molds and mildews growing here.
Gotta drink my health and wellness tonic tea. That's my turmeric tongue. But what about the babies? Where they from? Was it Montana? Was it Montgomery? What was it? I write that shit down. Let me see. But it's a group of kids that have been fighting their local government and some like environmental companies or whatever, and they won the other day because they saying that they're not providing them with clean air because they keep on using fossil fuel. So, and they said according to their local constitution that they promised that they would do that. And as long as they keep on supporting fossil fuel, then there's no way they can do that. So they end up having to pay these children, and they lost that case. But yeah, that's deep. I'm like, how? How was they able to hold a case like that? But apparently it was something about the verbiage in their local constitution. And they said it's two other states that have the same wording, that, basically you take the same case in these other states and win as well, and sue their ass for not providing clean air, for using fossil fuel. I wish I could find it. I'd be writing so many goddamn notes. I don't know where it's at, but y'all should look at that shit. That shit was crazy. But yeah, it just ain't the fossil fuel. I think it's bigger than fossil fuel because they've been using fossil fuel for a long time. It's what she's talking about. It's what Rosalind talking about. It's the spraying of the skies. It's the mining. It's the drilling. It's all that shit that's polluting the oceans and messing with the vibrations and the ecosystem and the harmony of the world. Like, I don't think it's the fuel, but they won though. Shit, I was amazed. And like I said, I wrote some notes. Maybe I'll be back with another video talking about that shit. We'll see. I have to find this because it says it's 5 things that, here it is. Sciencing. Sciencing.com. Okay, this is in that they put up on their site November 22nd, 2019 by Chris Denziel. Said scientists agree. One of the main reasons for global warming is human activity, release of gases that prevent ground heat from dissipation into space, a phenomenon known as greenhouse effect, which those kids blame on fossil fuel that I was talking about in Montana. Gases primarily responsible for global warming include water vapor. Okay. Now let me hit on water vapor real quick. Okay. Because your NASA people, these people working with these rockets, they release hella water vapor into the air. Okay. Enough water vapor, which is like a collide of hydrogen and oxygen atoms that combust into the air and form rain clouds. Like, that shit was crazy when I seen that. So that's one place I know for sure. not only are they producing a lot of water vapor, rain, fake rain clouds. It's a lot of what they call carbon emissions being released with them with planes, with goddamn not just cars, with planes and was the rockets for sure. The rockets for sure. I remember doing some research myself some time ago, and I'm talking about like, if y'all should just look up. I can't remember how much, but it was a lot. It was a lot. I can't remember how much right now. It's written down somewhere. I want to say it's in 100,000s of like, I don't know what the metric whatever they use, symbol, whatever. Yeah, but a lot of carbon emissions coming from that shit. But anyway, it includes water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons produced by humans who burn fossil fuel and engage in various agricultural and industrial activities. The Earth also contributes to greenhouse gases, accelerating warming trend. Okay, so this is just my note. I'm looking into this to see if there's a link between what's going on in the sky with the sun and clouds, all the strange clouds, and cloud seeding, and chemtrails, aka contrails, effects on global warming. 2023 weather has been very unusual. In fact, a lot would say weather has been very unusual. The sun has been hotter than ever since 2020, when we was on lockdown or we came back outside. I don't know if y'all remember feeling that sun, and it was just hitting a little bit different on that one arm that sits in the window that gets the sun beaming on it. It just hits a little bit hotter. But yeah, so strange clouds, excessive rain, flooding, wildfires, sinkholes. We got landslides. These sun flares they talking about. Plants and agricultural life is suffering. Even the marine life, or out in the water, in the ocean, and lakes, and seas and everywhere, right? Shoot, that's crazy out here. So this is back to the article. The article says, cause one, sun's variations in intensity is one of the causes for global warming. It says NASA and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change ruled this out. Okay, they're saying that the sun's variation in intensity is ruled out for causing global warming. And the reason why they're saying this is because they're saying that the amount of heat that comes from the sun has been constant since 1750. Okay, that's what they're claiming. They're claiming that the upper level of the atmosphere of Earth is cooling as the bottom layers are becoming more hot or warmer, whichever word we want to use. And this is what Rosalind's talking about, right? So that's happening, because of the sprayings and everything else is going on that's causing the pollution, and the heat can't escape past all that gaseous cloud or layer or dome that we have over us. So it just packs in. Everything is packing in, okay? Number two, they said industrial activity, fossil fuels, i.e. coal or petroleum for energy, releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Quarter of it is heat and electricity. Another quarter is the industrial processes and transportation, which includes gasoline, diesel-powered cars, trucks, trains, airplanes, and I'm just gonna say it, spaceships. We call them things rockets, spaceships. I don't know what they call them things. I ain't got nothing to do with them billionaire people. But let me see. So cloud seeding. okay, uses silver iodide, okay, a mixture that is injected into the clouds, causing the water in the clouds to condense around the mixture, making the clouds heavy and for rain to fall. Okay, that's cloud seeding. Okay, they said that the mixture is a hygroscopic type of mixture which attracts water that they use. Okay, potassium iodide. So I had to look up because don't just tell me it's a mixture, okay? Now that's what I'm gonna tell y'all when it comes to my tea. When you're like, what's in your tea? Oh, just some ginger, spices. Lemon, lime, sweetened with honey, you know what I'm saying? That's all y'all need to know. But the mixture, you know what I'm saying? I need to know what's in the mixture, okay? So potassium iodide and dry ice, solid carbon dioxide. Okay, now isn't that one of the things that caused the global warming from the beginning of the article? That was one of it. It was carbon dioxide. But see, they don't want to put that right there. Oh, just silver iodide mixture. Yeah, solid carbon dioxide. Okay, so whatever. It wasn't easy for me to find the other components that comes in the silver iodide mixture used for cloud seeding. Like I was asking Chat GPT, the motherfucker was like, something went wrong. We can't answer this question right now. Maybe you should ask another question. Maybe you should try again later. Like, no, mother sucker, we gonna figure this out today. Off the chain. But let's see. They said Colorado been using cloud seeding for 50 years. Okay, I'm quite sure we've been using it for just as long. But yeah, like I said earlier, why haven't it been used to put out, wildfires? But they're saying because clouds must be present. In order for them to do cloud seeding, cloud has to be present. But like I said, NASA has a machine that produces rain clouds, though. And I'm quite sure they taken that technology and put it somewhere else too. Okay. Like I synced it. Okay. Like it was a machine and it was like, ignited, then all this shit started shooting out. And then you just seen it go all into the sky and then sit there after a while, form these clouds. Like those clouds actually looked better than the whatever they doing with the contrails. Like with that machine, the way it was shooting them motherfucking clouds into the sky, whatever that gas, whatever it was, like I said, hydrogen, oxygen atoms combusting together, like whatever it was doing, that shit looked like more like a real cloud, but it produced rain. So why can't they take something like that, put it to where the wildfires are set up in different corners and kick that motherfucker on and put out these fires? I'm just saying, just a thought. Let me see, but no one is considering long-term effects. So I'm switching between what I think, what I wrote, and what I read on the article. Okay. So, but long-term effects, as far as how toxic it is to animals and humans, the ecosystem, and fish. Okay. I told myself to look up the National Environment Agency, that's why I keep mentioning them, and to look up NASA testing rocket engines producing artificial rain clouds. I'm just trying to tell you, okay, because I synced it. Every time a test is done, oxygen, hydrogen, see, is mixed together, pumping water vapors into the atmosphere, producing rain. See, I wrote that down. See, it's in my hand now. So let me see. I ain't keep going, but they had like a whole bunch of stuff on there. Y'all should go check out that article. I'll try to post a link to the article in the description, and y'all can just, what I'm saying, learn a little bit about a little bit if you care. You know what I'm saying? But at least you'll just know when you see some shit and they tell you one thing, you'll be able to look at it like with a little skepticism, and just not just take it verbatim because you know the truth. You know what it is. Okay. So let me get back to this goddamn video so I can work out. Jesus. I did write down that national. This is the name of an organization. Okay. So the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration monitors cloud seeding operations in the U.S. and supposedly 50 projects has been recorded so far. And remember that article was from November 22nd of 2019, I believe. Yeah, 2019. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And it claims that so cloud seeding is a type of solar geoengineering that started in 1946 with General Electric Research Laboratories. And they were the first to cause snow to fall over Mount Greylock in Massachusetts. So yeah, when they say like 50 years, you don't know, say, I'm just saying. In this video, oh, I don't know if it was in the beginning of 2000s, because her hair and them glasses tell me like 90s, like maybe like mid 90s, like 94 maybe, or a little bit earlier, but it's old. It's an old video. Just want to fuck up this planet just so they can go to another planet and fuck that up too, huh? You gonna allow them to fuck up the planet though? Like how? That just beyond me. Chemicals in our drinking water, plastics in our drinking water and food, like Jesus. Oh, help us, Lord. I mean, what about the 5G towers? Like, we just stopped talking about the 5G towers. I'm just saying. Like, we just stopped talking about them because I think they had something to do with it all too. I felt like, see, what was delivered to me was that we're being turned into a microwave, okay, pretty much. And there are some experiments out there, if y'all can find them, with some, some rats, some lab rats being put into like a test where they're having electromagnetic like rays, shot at them. It was driving them to like go crazy or some shit. They were mutating, and some it has something to do with radiation too. Like I think like the organs was rupturing or some shit like that. Like it was some kind of crazy shit going on with that test. I'm gonna have to find that. It was a long time ago, but I got to find them tests. Now that I'm doing these videos, I could try to put this stuff out there for you guys to see it too, and we can just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Talk about it, and then hopefully do something about it, because we got to do something about it. Okay, but more people got to know about it, to care about it. But particularly once you know, like, really gonna need you to care in order for you to act. So, or yeah, all of us.
We see all of this, and we hope that all of you will consider before you think of mitigation and just go forward with some of the plans that are being sold to you as almost a cap and trade situation, where a corporation like Planktos decides to put iron dust into the Galapagos Islands area. This is a proposal, may have already started, and to create algae blooms. And yes, they're saying, yes, we're going to help the environment because we're going to create these algae blooms for more oxygen. But what happens is it's going to impact the marine life in those areas. As a geoengineering plan, it is going to be sold, the credits for this, the supposed benefits, is to be sold as credits to people who want to pollute more. And here's the really awful twist to this, in my opinion, is if we sell pollution credits to polluters to ask them so that they can pollute more, we're only going to add more to our climate change and to our global warming processes. We have to say, no, we don't want money market schemes that are going to go into the ocean and change something possibly to the detriment of our oceans or our air, in order to sell credits to someone who wants to pollute more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a consideration for all of you when you start to talk about caps and trades, when you start to talk about geoengineering plans, because we don't need a money market scheme. We need to have and use the microbes available to us, the science available to us, to reduce the
That's why y'all hearing about these damn people getting eaten more by sharks and orcs attacking people on their boats. They are not playing with people. They like y'all fucking up the planet, man. And y'all ain't doing nothing about it. They over there doing all this shit and you over here kicking it.
Pollution that we're putting into the atmosphere, and we need a new direction, and I think that this might be a good one. So I hope that all of you will consider what I have to say
I
today,
most definitely
and I
do
want to thank you
consider
once
it.
again for
Thank
listening to
you
what I
very
have to say.
much for your work.
Thank you.
Shout out to all the new subscribers, new followers, those who comment, people who've been around since forever. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you. And any comments that you give me or, advice, okay? If I think it's something I can use, I will actually put into action. So thank you so much. If there's any videos that you guys want me to comment on or, like, you know, play, yeah, just let me know. I'll go ahead and do that for you too. But in the meantime, between time, let's get back to this video. Next video is just Rosalind. She was called in on a lawsuit that was going on, and this is when she told them that after 10 years of research, she ain't got no proof. Now listen to that one next. It's a short one.
I have a question.
Hey, yes, this is Rob Forget with Contrails Geoengineering Lawsuit, and Al DeChico. We just had some questions.
Sure.
Al?
Yeah, I have a question. The big question is, why isn't Michael Murphy, Roxy Lopez, Rosalind Peterson in on the lawsuit that we're working on with Attorney Joe Marmon?
I'd be happy to answer that.
We sincerely want to know. We really could use your help.
Okay, I have no problem answering that question. One of the things that I find is that we have to stick with what we can prove. We have to stay away from opinions and beliefs. And if we go to sue someone, we have to have enough rock-solid evidence that is so tight to make a case so that we don't lose the case, and that we have many, many people, in other words, experts in various fields, to testify on our behalf. This means university professors, this means people that can come and back up our statements, back up the studies where we can prove that the jets, for example, reduce the amount of direct sunlight reaching the Earth, they change the climate.
If we've done this,
and so what happens is that when I see, though, that we are talking about suing who? In other words, I find that the direct proof to link up who's doing what, and also I can tell you that in 10 years of research, other than aluminum-coated fiberglass chaff releases by the U.S. military, I have no proof whatsoever that the jets are releasing anything but jet fuel emissions. Now, I can prove that the rocket programs in the United States are releasing trimethyl aluminum, aluminum oxide, barium. I can prove the rocket programs in the United States are just coating us with toxic chemicals all the time. And these programs are listed at NASA, NOAA, the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy. I mean, there's tests going on all the time. The U.S. Navy CARE program is a prime example. So I can prove, I have so many documents, I couldn't even put them all on the internet, even if I tried, because there's Pentagon reports. There's all kinds of reports dating back 20, 30 years. When it comes to proving what the jets are releasing, I don't have the documentation, and I don't have a single study. I don't have a single solitary verifiable evidence that the jets are releasing anything except military releases of aluminum-coated fiberglass by military aircraft. So there's
Our legal
a
That
team
shit
has
on
that
lock
information
tight.
now.
for me in
Can't get
putting
that
my
shit.
name or
Top flight
associating
secret.
myself with something where I can't back it up. Now, if anybody has direct proof, they've got university studies, if you've got documents, government documents, if you've got reports, then that makes a big difference. But right now, after 10 years of research, I can't do it.
Our legal team has that information and has even submitted letters of demand information to all the entities that you noted and the DOD.
Yes, but you put them up to, the letters of demand carry the word chemtrail. The word chemtrail has no definition in U.S. military lexicon that I could find other than what is written as opinions and beliefs, but that they report that the word chemtrail is defined as an internet hoax, a conspiracy theory, or a hoax. To
Yeah, they've
get the
covered that word
military
and
to
then all
come
the-
out and actually define that word other than a hoax has not been possible, and no one has succeeded so far. So when you put a demand letter about chemtrails, they're just going to come back and tell you that it's a hoax. And I'm
Well, it's all
afraid that this is going to be problematic. In addition to that, the reason that I'm not going to personally go into any lawsuit at this time is that I have sued the state of California and the county of Contra Costa in a huge lawsuit several years ago about putting 2,4-D dichlorophenoxyacetic acid in the source of our drinking water that impacts 300,000 residents in Contra Costa County, California. The thought about going through 4 years and realizing that we filed too late, the program was already a program by the time that I knew about it and read about it in the newspaper, meant that we didn't lose on the merits of the case. We lost the case merely because we filed too late.
Rosalind, we're going to a break. Everybody hold on. Caller, if you want to stay on the line, I'll just mute you through the break and we'll bring you back on. Where you're listening to The Truth Tonight Talk Radio. I'm Roxy Lopez. Our guest today is Rosalind Peterson.
Man, we appreciate people like Rosalind out here that was putting in their work, and these kids out here that ain't playing no games winning cases in Montana. We appreciate all those heroes out there. Hopefully, you know, you guys watch this video and this spikes some curiosity in you and you become more interested in learning about, you know, what the hell is going on as far as the chemicals that are being pumped into our environment, into our ecosystem, into our, you know, like water supply, into our food supply. And, you know, maybe you guys will care a little bit more. You know, more people have allergies than ever. Like, you know, a lot of people didn't even have allergies growing up, have allergies now. Me personally, I've always had hay fever and allergies and sinusitis and things like that. And I used to be sick all the time, but I don't have those problems as much anymore. I would say almost at all. So I don't know if that's because of my health and wellness tonic tea. I don't know if it's because of that boosting my immunity, or if it's me working out or changing my diet or taking in more water, making sure I'm getting sleep. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it is that's keeping me from getting sick as much as I used to when I was younger. But people around me, though, be sick than a motherfucker, is all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. But get out. Enjoy the day. Hopefully you get some time outside, walking around, breathing in some of this good polluted air. It's been fun making this video, spending this time with you. But it's time for me to get up out of here. I hope that you enjoy your day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.
Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and get notified.